Hi, Mel. Are you shy all of a sudden?
I feel like I
Awesome.
already know you.
I know. It's weird. Hey, it's a weird part of YouTube. Very
Yeah.
random people come up to you and be like, "Hey, and how's this going?" And you don't know them, but they know everything about your family.
Are you already getting that?
No, not yet.
Oh,
Bit
I had it
weird though.
happen in Costco.
Sorry.
I had it happen in Costco. A lady came
Oh,
up to
really?
me and she was like, "Oh my God, you're Mel from Honeybee Farmstead." And I was like, "What the heck?" It was so
That's weird.
surreal. It was
Yeah,
really cool, but
I am thinking. Yeah, I am hoping that one day I'll just be shopping at Coles or Woolies and someone will just rock up and be like, "Hey, you're Jake."
you're Jake.
That'd be weird. That'd be weird. And if someone ever asks for a picture, I'll have to ask for a picture from them if they're the first one.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I try and say, "Oh, make sure you send that to me in Messenger or something so that I've got a copy." And
Yeah.
then they end up your friend on Facebook as well, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, because I know a lot of people in Queensland. Actually, one of my YouTube subscribers said she looked at this property, and her husband was really worried about the driveway flooding and all the drainage. So she's following along. She's obviously local.
Yeah.
She comments on a lot of videos. She's about to sell her house and get a piece of land, build a kit home like we're doing, but they're going to do it off grid.
Yeah.
So she's like, I want to see everything. Show me all the approval processes. But yeah, but she obviously knows where we are because she looked at this property, so she's obviously
Yeah.
local. So
She'll
that
be
was
kicking
weird.
herself when she sees how you fixed the problem and it's all good now.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. It doesn't take long. Like it flooded again this week. It's been raining all week. Probably maybe about 200 mils of water, so just up to
Oh,
just over the feet. But then it drains away, and if you wanted to, you could still drive a car. You can drive a car across it, but you still can't get out of the property yet because the
yeah.
driveway to the road's quite steep, and that just turns to slosh.
Yeah.
So probably need to just do a bit more road base up to the road level, and you'd be able to get out, all the
Yeah.
time. But that's
So,
that's stage two.
is it your brother and sister or Grace's brother and sister that are moving onto
It's
the property?
They're already here. It's Grace's sister, so my brother-in-law. Can I zoom in? Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're in the tiny home up there on the corner.
Oh, so good. So they're a part of the cow keeping and stuff as well?
No, they're gonna help cover costs of feed and stuff, but we're gonna do all the milking and stuff.
Okay. It's nice
Yeah,
to have someone to share it with because it frees you up to be able to go away and do things off the farm.
yeah, we have thought of that, but it would be a bit hard to. Yeah, I don't really want to have to rely on them as part of the. Yeah, I don't
Look
want to
at
have
her.
to sort of rely on them. Yeah,
She's such a pretty girl.
she is. But yeah, so we're down here about 250 meters away, our little campsite, and then we're actually going to build our house. There's our house power,
Okay.
so the house is sort of going to go here,
Oh, that's good.
and
Right near her.
We're starting that on the 17th of April. We've got an excavator coming. We're going to mark out the profiles and mark out the footings and start digging.
So
So
exciting.
it's all sort of coming together now. Finally starting to make some big movements.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, so I'll get into the cow stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so for those of you who haven't met Mel yet, Mel has been following along our journey. She's a YouTuber from Perth, runs Honeybee Farmstead, and so she's been following along with our Fontaine journey, and she's watched other videos and sort of analysed how I've been interacting with Fontaine, how she's been interacting with me, and I know you had a chat with my wife Grace for about an hour the other day,
Yep.
giving her some really good tips and information. So I've sort of done step one. I've started fortifying our stanchion. But from once that's done, what's kind of the next steps? What do you suggest the routine be?
The first thing that I do with everyone is halter break. So, like I said, I felt like watching your videos that Fontaine looked like she'd had some sort of trauma in the conventional cattle crush. And that can just be as simple as the sound that the crush makes or the tinging and banging with the metal. So, yeah, I feel like every time I've seen it, she looks quite frightened and her eyes are really wide. And she's, but I don't want her to keep associating you with that metal clanging sound and stuff, because she seems to really like you.
Yeah.
All of her behavior and like her body language shows that she wants to interact with you. So if you kind of keep frightening her, then it might go backwards. So the milking stand's a great way to start. And I did say to Grace, make sure that when she's coming in and out of the milking stand, you put the food in there, and that's sort of a happy place. Food is a Jersey's happy place. They love it, right?
Yeah.
So, but then keeping in mind we're trying to get Fontaine pregnant as well, so we don't want her too overweight.
Correct.
So we're going to steer clear of grains. They really only need grain feeding and stuff when you're milking them.
Right.
So things like carrots, I see that you give them carrots a lot, so that's brilliant. They like things like watermelon and anything that's fresh and, like a tasty treat that they wouldn't get regularly, and feed them in that area. And then once she's in there, lock her in so the head veil closes, and she'll sort of resist it for a second and be like, oh, okay, this is not so bad. And it's why I choose wood, because wood's a lot softer and doesn't make a lot of noise.
True. Yeah, because she does calm down in the metal cattle crush eventually as well. She'll sort of pull back once she knows she's in there. She does settle down.
Yeah. Well, I think she'll settle down quicker in the wood one because she hasn't already got a negative association with it. I feel like she came to you with that.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So once she's locked in, she'll just go back to eating. And during that process, even if it's the first time, put a halter on her. Make sure it fits quite snugly so that it can't get caught on anything like that. And you're with her every day. Like, I do want to disclaimer this with, if other people are watching and going to try and follow along and train their cow this way, there are a few do's and don'ts with halters. I'm saying a halter for you because you're with her every day and you can see her, and if she gets caught on something, you can go and help her. But if you were trying to do that and you were sending your cow out quite far, I wouldn't recommend you leave the halter on because they can get caught up on things and stuff like that. So it's a safety thing.
Gotcha.
But for me, I leave the halters on the ones I'm training. Or if someone's coming back into milk and they've had no halter for a little bit, because I like to train every one of my animals to pretty much be show ready, because if they ever go to a new home, they're safe for everyone. Your little guy there will be able to lead her around eventually at the end of this, and she'll be great, right?
Yeah.
We want to bomb-proof her as much as possible. So chuck the halter on, and then you can just leave her for a few days with it on so she can start to feel, it on her face, because it'll change, the feeling. And then you don't have to wait weeks or anything, couple of days, and then you will put a strong sort of lead rope on. I like a short piece of chain with a snap clip on both ends.
Gotcha.
And then you just attach her to something really sturdy so she can't leave.
Yep. Yeah, I was thinking of attaching her to this pole, this middle pole here in the middle of her yard.
Yep.
It's pretty sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere.
Yep, that looks really good. You can also do it with a normal horse lead rope, the soft one. Just as long as you make sure she can't sort of get off. If she gets off regularly, it'll teach her just fight it and pull and that, and eventually I'll get free. If the first couple of times you do it, she doesn't get free, they'll just give in really easy. I have never seen it take longer than a week to have them just stand as soon as they're tied up. A week is our extreme as well. That's our worst case scenario. Yep.
Sure. And do you think so? Rope or chain, or is a chain too noisy when you tie them up?
Yeah. Look, if you're trying to avoid that, I'm not sure. You kind of have to go by Fontaine because you're with her. I adjust and pivot according to the animal and what they're showing. I do like a rope to start with, but make sure it's tied where she can't just.
Lost her for a bit.
All I had to do was yank a few times and it comes off. So then she'll always yank.
Yeah, gotcha.
So it's sort of like the first training, if it works really well, that it will continue to because nothing went wrong at the start.
Yeah.
So once she's tied up, I would just do that a few times. And once she stops resisting on it and just stands there, then start introducing the really nice stuff, right? They love a good groom. I get like a cheap Bunnings, the wooden like trough scrubbing brushes that have
Yep.
got really rough bristles. They love it.
Yeah.
Up and down their neck, along
Yep.
their back line, along the top of their tail.
Mhm.
Like they really love that. When you start seeing that, like their tongue comes out and they get really relaxed, they're
Yeah.
very excited by it. So then
Yeah.
your associate,
I think I'm probably the first person to actually ever brush her. I don't think she's ever been brushed in her life. And when I had her in the yard, she'd kind of give me the lap around. She'd run around me about 4 times, keep running away from me. But eventually, then she'd stop, stand still, and I'd give her a good brush, like 15 minutes, everywhere, all
yeah,
over her legs and butt, and she loved it.
they do love it. And then
Mm,
they start to see you. I think that's why you've put the time in. They start to see you as their friend and their positive place and a happy thing, because in a herd, if you watch a
mm.
herd of cows, they groom each other constantly.
Yes.
And that's why I say the rougher the brush, the better, because they have quite rough tongues and it's like something they really enjoy.
Yeah, correct.
Is that Grace?
That's Grace.
Uh, Hi, Grace and Fontaine. She's a very beautiful cow.
Yeah,
I
she
can't
is.
wait to see her,
Sometimes she looks
because
like a
she does.
deer.
Yeah, she does really like you guys, and that's why I thought let's change really quickly to the training side, because I think she'll respond really well, and she wants to work with you. You can see it
Mm,
in her body language.
yeah.
Um,
She
yeah.
just
So
knows
the
who's
next step,
boss.
yeah, that's right. So that's why she tests you a little bit, runs you around the yard. She's just like, hey, I'm still in control here, mate.
I feel that.
Eventually, she will walk up to you when you come, and she will like put her head down nice and low, and she'll just relax, and you'll be able to
Yeah.
get to it.
So I feel like I think the best way to describe how I feel at the moment is like the Wile E. Coyote cartoon. I feel like I'm Wile E. Coyote and she's the Roadrunner. She's too smart, man.
But she is very smart. They are quite smart, and that's why I say to people, you. I think people limit what they can do with their cow by thinking it's just some dumb livestock animal. That's
Yeah.
not the case. Um, when they're in the milking stand, I even say, whoever I say, hey Bonnie, step out, and she'll step out nice and wide so I can get full
Oh wow.
access to her udder.
Well, that's
I'll
crazy.
say, yeah, I'll say step back, and they know to put their leg right back so I can get
Wow.
around all four quarters. Um, Lots of touch, lots of, if you use the same word, like I've got a little, in the mornings, my code word for coming in is I yell out breakfast, and they all know it's
Gotcha.
food time,
Gotcha.
and they all come running.
Okay.
So when I sell a heifer or a cow that's been in my herd, those people then can go out and say breakfast, and that
Hmm.
cow goes, oh, that's the magic word, and comes running.
Yep.
Um, and you can set that up from the beginning. So if you do that with all of your animals,
Yes.
um, oh, look at her. Yeah, she's a beautiful cow. The next thing is getting her pregnant before she gets
Correct.
too fat.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. One thing that gave me a bit of hope is when she was in the cattle crush last, and she was um, I was doing the fly treatment. She let me touch her udders, which is the first time I've touched udders, and I think there was a calf next door that was having a go at them. A couple of them had a little bit of scabbing on it, but she let me have a good feel around, and that was the first time. So yeah, little windows of hope opening up here and there. That
Yeah.
yeah,
Can
she
I
will
ask,
cooperate.
when you felt her udder, what did it feel like?
Felt like soft spun, like soft rubbery,
Nothing hard in there at all?
nothing hard.
Beautiful. That's
Hmm.
good. I have said to Grace, because I believe that you guys were told that she's a heifer.
Yep.
In the videos, I have noticed normally a heifer's udder is nice and flat and taut with
Gotcha.
their belly. Yeah, so I've noticed when she came in the last video, she sort of went up near the milking stand area, and when she was running, it was quite jiggly and loose.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not normally like a heifer. I feel like maybe she has had a calf before,
Gotcha.
which is a good thing for you guys. It does mean that your options open up
Hmm.
as far as getting her pregnant. If the AI thing's not going to work and it's starting to cost you guys too much money, you could probably put her in with quite a small bull. Like I would try and find a Jersey, just because if she has a heifer, you've got
Yeah.
yourself a in milk
That's right.
and calving backward and forward sort of scenario. So you're never out of milk.
That's right.
Um, but yeah, if you do have to resort to that, rather than time ticking on and her just not getting pregnant, and waiting and waiting and waiting, chuck her in with a bull. They clean it up 9 times out of 10 unless there's something wrong
Yeah.
with the cow.
The only bull I've found 2 doors down is a Limousin. I haven't really found. We've actually got 6 people watching. I don't know how they joined. I did put this on unlisted, and this little segment's going to go in one of my long form videos. So you guys who are watching are getting a little bit of a sneak peek
That's
at
okay.
a future
I know
video.
that there's one of them that is on my channel a lot, and I want to say hi. So that's cool.
Yeah,
We are just learning, so it is cool that they get to see it, but it is
yeah,
unedited. So
yeah. Who knows what you'll see?
yeah, who knows? But yeah, so getting back to the trainings part of it, it works in stages. And once we've got one stage done and sort of corrected and she gets what's happening, like the first bit is tying her up with a halter
Yeah.
on so she stands still.
Mhm.
That will mean the freedom for everything. You can walk her
Okay.
onto a float to take her to a vet. You can
Yep.
transport her around. You might end up like me. I was only ever going to just milk my own house cow, but there's not a lot of people doing it in WA. So next minute I'm doing shows and teaching people and that sort of thing. So
Yep.
I trained my Jersey bull to do the same. I walk up to him in a paddock, put a halter on him, and lead him on a float, and I pimp him out all over the place because there's
Right.
not a lot of Jersey bulls around.
Right.
It is something that you can do with all of your cows. I've even seen meat cows do it. That's how they do show.
Gotcha.
Just
Mhm.
saying hi. Yeah, so I think halter training is my number one, I'd have to say.
Okay.
And then
And
you can work on her learning then to go into the other crush without a worry. She will do
yeah,
that.
definitely. So get her in the wooden stanchion, feed her,
Yeah.
lock her in, lock her in. The first time I do that, get the halter on her.
Yeah.
Let her have her food, or she might not eat. She might throw a tantrum. Let her out for the rest of the day. Do it the next morning, back in the stanchion, food, and then at
Yeah.
what point do I lock her up or tie her up once
Uh,
the halter's on?
well, if you wanted to do it the second day, you could. She is old enough. It's not
Okay.
like she's little and just learning the ways of things. She has
Right.
actually, on the previous property, she's been managed or handled. So
Okay.
if you wanted to do it the next day, just clip a lead rope on and then tie her up. And you might find that she stops. She might pull and I do want to warn you, she may throw herself on the ground and throw a proper tantrum. Some of them do
Right.
it. That's why I was going to
Jeez.
say tie them quite low so that when she does, nothing snaps or breaks. She might throw herself on the ground, lay there for a bit, and then she'll kind of go, "Oh, this is embarrassing," and get up because they quite often do that. Um, Especially the older ones. The younger ones don't really do it because they don't know any better.
Yeah,
They're
gotcha.
born, and
Yeah.
so that you don't have this issue with any of your cows going forward. And also because being a smaller property, you might not want to keep too many of them, and
Mm.
pretty much you're going to have a calf every year.
Yeah.
If you train them from birth pretty well, this way, you'll have a beautiful, easy, manageable little heifer that you can sell on, and that becomes sort of
That's
it
true.
pays for the food, and
Yeah.
you might want to end up getting a milking machine down the track.
Yep.
That's how I've gone and funded my milking machine and things like that, is by selling on the heifers that we have.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Do I stay with her when I tie her up, or do I just leave her?
You can do either.
Okay.
I do want to say, if other people are following along and want to know, I don't ever leave them in the full sun. Always put them in the shade.
Yep.
Don't do this sort of training on a really hot day. Jerseys do struggle a bit with the heat.
Yep.
Make sure that when you tie them up, they do have access to water.
Yep.
They don't need food there, but they do need water there at all times. And
Yep.
make sure that you're constantly checking in on them.
Yep.
And when you see that they've submitted and they've relaxed and sort of settled in, that's when you can bring the good stuff in, right? You can bring out the brush and you can like calmly talking, "Oh, do you like that? Oh, let's give you a scratch." And you say things like, I'd say to my first cow, Deirdre, "Do you want a hug?" And she'd lift her chin right up and place
Oh,
it on my
cute.
shoulder,
No way.
because she learned that when she did that, I would scratch right the way down. So you'll learn how to be around her, and you'll find the little things she loves, and she'll start to figure you out as well.
True.
Yeah. And it will be a beautiful experience. So I know that you're very good with persevering, but some people would have given up by now.
Yeah. It's yeah. The thought has crossed my mind that she looks kind of tasty.
No. What she holds inside her is much tastier.
This is true. We've actually got
Yes.
someone from Turkey watching. So hi
Wow.
hi all the way to Turkey. And
If you
10
are
people watching. It's
watching
pretty
and
impressive.
enjoying, don't forget
Yeah.
to hit the subscribe button so you can see more of this.
Yes. Lots to
Yeah,
come.
so when you do have her trained and starting to lead, I did say to Grace, she looks like she's quite stubborn. She may
Yeah.
be one that won't lead very easily.
Mm.
If that was to happen, then you'll just keep doing the tie up part for a while and then
Gotcha.
start with a few steps. But what I did love about the way you handle her is you never seem to get flustered.
Mm-hmm.
That's key, really.
Mm-hmm.
If we're calm and we're relaxed, she can feel that. When you
Yes.
get flustered, and you might, and that's okay, just leave. Leave her
Just walk
tied
away.
up and walk away. It's fine.
Yes.
She's not in any danger.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do is get frustrated and just be like, oh, because she'll feel that.
Yeah.
So you're starting to get frustrated. I'm going to go inside for lunch. I'm going to go have a
Yeah.
coffee, whatever. You
Yeah.
figure it out here on your own because
Yeah.
she doesn't want to be there on her own. Next time you come back, she'll be like, okay, I'm going to play ball. He's going to hang out
Correct.
with me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any questions
Very
about that?
interesting. No, I think that makes sense. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
And the same will go when she has her calf.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people are like, I don't bother with the steers because they're just going to be food or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's a food animal, there is no harm in having them halter trained.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen down the track. Like I ended up trading 2 of my food steers to a lady for a few Dexters.
All
And
right.
it was so beneficial that I could chuck a halter on and walk them on the float to
Oh
transport them.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I never planned they were never going to leave the farm. They were just going to be butchered and eaten here. But
Yeah.
my plans changed. And the
Yep.
fact that I had them halter trained just made my life so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they see that or they get the halter on, they know it means business. It's just like a horse.
So are you saying that you train them when they're a calf to be halter trained, and then even if it's a couple of months, years later, you can just walk up and put a halter on them? It's not something you have to keep reinforcing. Like once they know about it, it kind of sticks with them, or do you have to sort of keep doing it regularly?
Somewhat, yeah. So somewhat it sticks with them. It might not be immediate, but like for example, I have a heifer that all heifers are trained from very young. When mum's being milked, they're tied up and Grace is grooming them because they're very safe for little ones to handle, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
while either you or Grace are milking, the little calf is tied up there. And if that's all they ever know, they don't have to learn it, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
That's what they know. So then the kids can groom them and rub them on the belly, lift up their legs just like you do a horse. Because if you think about your treatment of her, if you want to try and trim her hooves, you're going to have a hell of a time. You're probably going to have to try and hire someone in who's got a exactly right. And I've had cows like that because I've just bought them fresh off a dairy or whatever. And that's 1, dangerous, 2, stressful for both you and the animal. But if they start from really little, like you grab underneath the hock of any of my little heifers and they'll lift their leg up for you.
All right.
And then I can just groom them standing there. And
Yeah.
she's not stressed and I'm not stressed and no one's in danger.
Yeah.
Because they've had it since they were a baby. So it's no different to them.
Gotcha.
So when you are doing that with her calf, when it happens, let your kids train them. It'll be so beneficial for the kids as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, it's exciting. I can't wait to see it. Like, she's definitely ready.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. She's had it good for too long. She was left in a field and
Well, this is the other thing. You don't actually know what you got when you bought her. So you don't know what she's been through. Yeah.
That's right.
But watching her, I've been watching every time she's in a video, I've been watching and just sort of seeing her body language towards you. She's quite happy to freely walk up to you in an open paddock.
Yeah.
But the second you ask her anything of her, she's like, nope. And she'll just kick up her heels and take off.
That's right. Yeah, in the middle of the day, she'll come walking to me a bit in the morning. She'll be in her stanchion. She'll be standing right here in the yard, and as soon as I start walking in, she'll just wander out, and then I have to
Yeah,
coax her back in.
yeah. She's
I can't
she's
wait to
being
see her be
cheeky
milked
now.
either.
Yeah, yeah. This lovely lady really enjoys all the milking videos. So I haven't got any cows in milk at the moment. Well, they
Well,
do,
we've got a
but
long journey for you to follow. I've just named the playlist. I think it was named Our First House Cow. Now it's named The Journey to Milking Our First House Cow.
yeah, that's good.
So it's from
I
building
do
the
love it.
shelter, pouring the slab, building the stanchion. It'll be all the way up to obviously getting her pregnant and milking her. So it'll be a long playlist.
Where are you at with the pregnancy stuff?
Well, our AI tech flies back in from overseas tonight. I'm pretty sure she's on heat today, so we'll probably
Oh,
miss this one. But yeah,
is she cycling every 21 days? Have you figured out the exact? Yep.
yeah, it's 21 days.
Okay,
Sorry,
cool. So
22
it
days.
can range.
22 days.
Yeah, I was going to say it can range from sort of 21 to sort of 28, 30, even when they're a
Yep,
bit older.
yep,
Um, but that's good. That means that her fertility is still good
gotcha.
if she's regularly cycling like that. Um, and so the next time that you get AI, it will be her second shot, yes?
Yes, we have one more straw left in the 2 batches I bought.
Okay. So is this sex semen?
Yeah, it's another heifer polled.
Told? Yeah, okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Perfect.
hmm.
It's not guaranteed though, you know that. Like I've
Yeah,
got a friend who's had a couple of little bull calves born out of sex semen.
right.
Um, she had
So
to
yeah,
rename one.
I'm just not sure because I know in my last video I mentioned the estrus synchronization, which is what our AI tech suggested to do for the second time. Obviously because she's not next door anymore. The steers haven't come back after the cyclone yet, so yeah, it's just us here with her. So yeah, wondering
Okay,
what
is there
you
any
think.
chance of you borrowing one of the steers to put in the yard with her?
Yeah, I could ask West. He's only about 10 minutes away. I could ask if he could just drop one of his steers in here with us. He's really friendly.
Yeah.
He's super friendly,
The
almost too
steer?
friendly. Yeah, almost too friendly. He's a
I
funny
know the
one.
one you're talking of. It's
The
the one
the brown one.
yeah,
Yeah,
the one you're attached
he's
to.
an absolute character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, you only need one, and then you'll have a very clear indication of when she comes in.
yeah,
Because with sex semen, you only get really a sort of 12-hour window. It's better to have
that's
it in
right.
the 6 hours.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that'd be
that's
good.
good. So the main thing is don't let her get too much weight on her. She's looking really good now.
Yep.
Um, but when they get too fat, that starts to really hinder their ability to get pregnant as well.
Cool.
But they also store fat in their udder. So if
Gotcha.
she's storing fat, that's less space for her to be able to have milk in, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay.
she's looking good now. That's why I said
Yeah.
to Grace, the longer it goes on, don't be tempted to start feeding her grains and things like that. She doesn't need it. When she's
Okay.
in work, then she'll need it.
Cool. That sounds good. Cheaper for the pocket and the interim too.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's just better for them. Grain
Yeah.
just promotes a hoof growth.
Okay.
So she'll end up growing long hooves and she'll get fat. And
Okay.
that will
Gotcha.
just be two things you've got to deal with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah. Well, we'll obviously miss this one because the AI techs they're still in overseas. But I think I'll try and get a steer here within the next week or two. I'll
Yeah.
give him a call this week, see if he can drop one off, and yeah, and then go from there, and then try another round of the natural AI.
Yeah.
And I've
If
got
that doesn't
my
work,
own crush here now too.
yep, cool.
Yeah.
Your AI tech, if you are getting her into that milking stanchion and she's quite happy in there, your
hmm
AI tech can impregnate her in there.
That's true. Yeah,
My
that's true.
AI tech does it in mine. It
Okay.
was when they lift their tail to the 90-degree angle, when you see her
Yeah.
lift her tail right up, that holds the spine in place. They can't actually lift their legs to kick or move around too much.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I can talk to you at another time about different little tricks and techniques to getting them moving where you want them and things. But
Yeah.
yeah, their spine is a big part of that. So
Yeah,
you
true.
know how you're saying she's kicking. When
Mm.
you start training her for milking, if you put a belly rope around her,
Mhm.
the top of the belly rope sits on her spine, and when she goes to lift her leg,
Can't.
she won't be able to be.
Gotcha.
So she'll go to sort of lift it to kick and be like, "Oh, I'm stuck,"
Oh, I can't.
and then sort of put her foot back down, and it doesn't
True.
cause her any danger. So I am actually a big advocate for the belly rope over leg tying, because
Yeah.
you might tie her leg and then she has a bit of a carry on and then
Freaks
falls
out.
down and breaks her leg.
Yeah. Yep.
So the belly rope, they don't do that. There's no falling down. They're on all fours. There's like, oh, I can't go anywhere. Can't do anything.
That's right.
So there's safer ways to do everything, but I can help you out with that later.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I'll probably need to give you a call when I actually get her in here for the first time to run through getting the halter on her.
It's
Oh, that's the
easy.
other thing. With the halter, we've got one that just has like the single rope that goes behind her ears. Should I get one that has two ropes that goes around her? It's got the one that goes around the snout, but just one that goes behind the ears. I have seen ones that have like one that goes around the neck and this.
I think your halter is an actual cow halter.
Well, I just got a call come through. I had to hang up on it.
That's all right. I think the halter you've got is a cow halter.
Yes.
So that's fine. Perfectly fine. Just make sure it's not too loose so she can't catch on anything.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Just make it nice and tight.
And then, she's near you all the time. You don't have a lot of big trees with sticks out.
No, we can
you don't have a
from
lot.
our kitchen. Yeah.
That's right. So I would leave the halter on her all the time until she's fully trained.
Cool.
Yeah.
Easy. Awesome. Well, watch this space.
It's going to be good.
It is going to be good. I really appreciate all your support, and
You're more than welcome.
It's been awesome because we've come into this homesteading thing not knowing anybody. I didn't know anyone with cows. I didn't know. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Had to figure it all out myself. Didn't have any contacts.
Yeah, well, I'm on the other side of Australia, but I'm more than happy to help at any point. And because my main thing is, I think everyone should own a house cow. To be honest with you, just like chickens, with chickens and a cow, you're good. You've got your family covered as far as food and security.
Yeah.
So I like anyone who so if someone's watching this video and wants some advice themselves, please reach out. I am more than happy to teach people and have it be a nice, smooth experience and have everyone owning a cow because I think we should, Yeah. Not just for the milk, but when the poop comes out, it's straight to your garden. Like so many amazing benefits. I don't think there's like anything at all that's bad about them.
That's right.
Yeah. That was the other thing I was going to say. When we talked about if you don't want to keep AIing and this next lot doesn't work, use your local community board or whatever, put a picture of her up so that people, just to grab attention, and just say, hey, I have a purebred Jersey heifer I'm wanting to put with a bull. Does anyone out there have a purebred Jersey bull? Or even if it's a crossbreed but smaller.
Smaller, yep.
Yep. But you want to see with your own eyes her have a calf first. Once she's had her first calf with you, you know what her capabilities are. So you'll know if she calves easy or not. That's one of the suspicions I have about her, but it's not confirmed yet. Sometimes people get rid of an animal because they didn't calve well on the property.
Yeah.
So they're worried about that being an issue ongoing, so they sell their animal on. And sometimes sell on a problem to people.
Yeah.
And I've seen it happen. And if she's had a calf on your property, then she could go to any bull. It's fine.
Yeah, gotcha.
If you know she calves well.
Yeah.
Because Jerseys can hold a crossbred calf, no drama. But yeah, I want to see her calve first and see that she's safe and that it happened. I've got a Jersey that birthed breech all by herself.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Some of them do it really well and others have all the perfect conditions and something's not quite right.
Right.
They're like humans. Everything's different for every animal, but you want to set her up for the best possible experience. That's why I said, please stick to a Jersey for the first one.
Yep.
just so that, because they're quite a small animal when they're born, they're like all legs. They're quite
Yeah.
thin and narrow, and they come out nice and easy. A beef breed,
Mhm.
they're meaty when they're born, so they do get stuck.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But once she's had her first one, you can do whatever you like. She
True.
should be fine. If she births easy, no dramas, then go right ahead, because it happens.
Awesome.
Everyone's done it. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, excellent. That's lots of excellent information. Yeah.
You're welcome.
So I'll probably take out some snippets of this for the video, and then link a version of this whole chat if anyone else wants to deep dive, which would be good.
Well, I feel like it might already be out there, seeing as we had comments coming up.
Yeah. I don't know how they found it, but yeah, we had quite a few watching along.
I think the Just Me there is following your page as well, but I don't know whether she found it through mine or yours, so we'll have to figure that out later.
Yeah. I think someone said that Mel sent me, or so
Yeah. I one of my videos, I don't know if you saw it, one of my videos had a bit of information about you guys, because I really love
right.
the type of video you're putting out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had a shout out from Rockpile Homestead. Is that Rockpile Homestead?
Yeah.
But it was in a live stream, and she didn't actually she just mentioned it in the video and didn't actually put a link in the description, so I didn't actually get like a notification that I got mentioned. I'm still waiting for a little mention notification to pop up.
Yeah. Amanda is just down the road from us, Amanda and Corey, just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I've been helping them with their girl Summer. So Summer came from here.
Yeah, right. Gotcha.
Yeah. And her baby is my bull's baby.
Ah, right. Yeah, because I noticed you were an admin on that Homestead community Facebook group that I've joined.
Yeah,
and Amanda's also an admin.
Yeah, when we've known each other a while. We bought a tractor off them when we were first moving here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we discovered that we were both into homesteading.
Yeah.
And like neither of us really, they had a YouTube channel already.
Yep.
But we're kind of discouraged and they'd sort of quit for a while.
Right.
And we binged all their videos and thought they were hilarious. And we're like, you should keep doing it. So we sort of said, come on, get back into it. You can do it.
Cool.
And now they're flying.
They blew up.
But yeah, it's good because they've got really good content that I feel like both guys and girls like. So a lot of my videos are watched by women.
Yeah.
And you'll find your demographics very different, but I think theirs would be quite even with the pair of them both doing different things.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, we had a conversation in my chicken pen about how we can create like a Homesteaders of America type thing here, because homesteading in Australia is very, very different. For one thing, we don't actually even have like a lot of the supplies that they can buy. You really have to search in Australia to find homesteading supplies.
You do.
So that's something else that we're sort of looking at. Like I've had conversations with a fabrication company here in WA about homestead specific, like I don't want to give too much away, but like him designing and making homestead style things. So when they buy sheep yards, you buy them and they'll fit 1,000 sheep in it. Homesteads only have 10, 15. So downscaling it, but also having it where the design means you can put a couple of lambs in and it's got all the vaccinating and all the things that you would need on it. And there's nothing like that out there at the moment at all. So the other thing was having a stanchion built with everything that you could ever need in mind. So a little flat table that folds down for the AI tech to put all the stuff on. And like when you start doing these things, you'll think, oh, like I needed a little table ledge that came out at my height to put the milking thing on.
Yeah, right. Of course.
And then like a chair that you can quickly get out of the way, because it depends on what you're doing with the animal. You might want the chair out the way so you can put the calf in on the teats. And so because I've been doing it for years, I sort of said to him, this is what you want, and you want a place where you can hang a bag of sort of minbao. So if they get things like ketosis or if they get unwell and you've got to hang a bag of IV fluids.
True.
rather than having to stand there and just hold it till the bag's finished, somewhere you can hook it up and walk
Yeah,
away.
true.
And so I went through that with him, and he was like, "Oh, this is gold." So we're working
Yeah.
on,
Okay, cool.
yeah,
That's very cool.
we're working on engineering it. So lots happens in the background.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
All right. Well, I'll let
Okay,
you
cool.
get to your training.
No worries. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day, mate.
No worries. Thanks, Mel. Catch you later.
See you later.
Bye.